Hi everybody, I'm Andrea from the Frog Project, and today I just want to talk to you a little bit about sun salutations, because when we're in class we don't have so much time to go through all of the little details, so this is just for you to refer to at any point if you want to work on your sun salutations. And we'll just take it really slow and go through everything that we need to know about it. So it's not really for practicing, but just about the little details and the little individual things to watch out for when you do your sun salutations. So let's start by coming to the front of your mat. So we start with our feet together with the big toes touching and the heels are about an inch apart. Then we're going to spread the toes by lifting up the toes towards your face, then spreading them as wide as you can, and then relaxing them back down on the mat. So we don't want to tense up the feet, but we want the feet to be as spread wide as possible, the toes to be as spread wide as possible, without any tension in the toes. Then we're going to lift up the arches as if creating a tent of space underneath the feet. And then at the same time, we're going to press down into the four corners of your feet. So sort of creating lots of energy in the feet as we do our sun salutations. Then, to engage your quadriceps, just sort of tighten the muscles there. You're going to feel your knees lifting up. And then as you tuck your tailbone, you want to remove any arch from your lower back. So tuck it in, trying to create a straight line with your spine. So we tuck the tailbone in, creating a straight line. At the same time, we're going to straighten the upper back and drop the chin backwards to lower to move your spine backwards at the top here. So creating as much of a straight line with the spine as possible. At the same time, we're going to draw the top of the head up towards the sky. So this is going to straighten and lengthen the spine. We're going to engage the core by tightening the abs. Feel really tight here. And then roll the shoulders back and down with the palms facing the front wall, or in this case, the front. All right, so we begin with an inhale, raising the arms up to the sky. Depending on your space, you can either raise them up to the sides, or you can bring your hands together and lift them straight up in front of you. As we raise the arms up, we want to look up to the sky and end up with our palms together overhead. Then as we exhale, we can either come down with a swan dive, or if you're limited in space, you can come down with your hands through your heart center, ending up with our hands to the mat and forehead to the knees. Now this doesn't mean you need to try to make contact with the forehead to your knees. It just means bending over and trying to create as much or as close as you can, bringing your head towards your shins or your knees. If you can, try to plant your palms flat on the mat. But you might just be dangling here. It doesn't matter as long as you draw your forehead towards your shin and come down as far as your body allows you. And you're going to notice the more you practice your sun salutations, the closer you're going to be able to bring your forehead towards those shins or towards your legs. Then, for a halfway lift, as you inhale, coming up to a halfway lift, the goal here is to have a flat spine. So the back is flat. You can have your hands on your shins, or you can have your fingertips just touching the floor, as long as the spine is straight. So if you're curved like this, it's a much better idea to have your hands on your shins so you can straighten those arms. And then we also want to draw the shoulders away from the ears. So if you're going like this, trying to touch your shins and curving your spine, that's not good. So first we want to flatten the spine, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and bringing your hands to your shins or fingertips just touching the floor, as long as we can keep a straight spine. So as we inhale, halfway lift. After that, we're going to exhale, planting the hands. So we're going to plant the hands beside your feet if you can. If you can't reach the floor, that's okay. Just bend your knees until you can bring your hands to the floor beside your knees. You don't want to place your hands in front of your feet, but as much beside your feet as possible. Then we can step or jump back into plank. So if you're going to step back as far as you can, 1 foot at a time, coming into a straight line with your body. If you're going to jump back, so make sure you can plant your hands flat on the floor, then just jump as far as you can. So you want to make sure you can jump so that your body stays in a straight line. We don't want the bums sticking up in the air at this point. So if you don't jump back far enough or step back far enough, just take an extra little step to be able to come into that plank with your body in a straight line. So just make sure your hips are down far enough so that everything is in a straight line. At this point, we also want to make sure we're pressing down into the knuckles and the fingertips to take the weight off of the wrists. There's not so much time to explain that here in normal sun salutations, but we want to protect the wrists at all points when we put weight into the wrists. So from here, we're going to come down into knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. So we'll start with knees, chest, and chin. So first you place your knees down on the mat, and then keeping your elbows tucked in, we're going to lower down, aiming for the chin coming between the hands. So the bum is going to stick straight up in the air. Keep your elbows tucked in and lower your chin and your chest down to the floor. Then, from here, we're just going to slide the body forward, lowering the bum down and raising the head up, coming into upward facing dog. So, this is Cobra. Cobra is when your knees are down. Upward facing dog is when your knees are just lifted up. So you can choose whatever is more comfortable for you. Either Cobra with your knees down or upward facing dog with your knees up. Then, let's go back. I'll do Chaturanga on the next one. I'll explain that for you. With upward facing dog, you want to once again make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. So there's no crunching in the neck, there's no turtleneck here. We want to make the neck long, and to do that, you need to press down with your hands into the floor. All right, then to get from here into upward facing dog, we're going to tuck our toes and then lift the hips up, sending them back. And from here, we're in downward facing dog. Now, I usually take a little step forward here in downward facing dog. And the reason for that is because we want to try to bring our body into an equilateral triangle. So we want 60-degree angles at the hands, the feet, and the hips. So you might want to use a mirror just to see how your body lines up. You might need to take a step forward, you might not. Then we take 5 breaths here. And as I always mention, from here, you can press down into your knuckles and your fingertips to take the weight off of the wrists. We always want to protect the wrists because they're very important for us and we don't want to injure them. Then to come out of this, you look between your hands, bend your knees first, and this prepares you to either jump or step forward. So you can either take a big step forward with 1 foot at a time or take a jump. From here, we're going to come back into our halfway lift. So the halfway lift is with straight legs, straight arms, once again, shoulders away from the ears and a flat back. So make sure your spine is straight, your neck is long, and there's no crunching up in the neck. Then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat and draw your forehead to your knees once more. And as we come up, You're going to try to keep the spine straight. So lead with the head, coming up to a straight spine first, and then allow your arms to come up, looking towards the sky as you bring your palms together. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back together at heart center. And then that's one. As we go into our second and third sun salutations, we just want to try to set up the same way. So make sure you're in mountain pose, and mountain pose is with everything engaged. So those toes are spread wide, the quadriceps are engaged, tailbone is tucked, core is engaged, shoulders back, but starting with the hands together this time. So we'll do this one a little bit more quickly, just with our Chaturanga instead of our Cobra. And we'll do a jump instead of the step forward. So let's inhale, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, bend forward, hands to the mat, forehead to your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine, hands in your shins, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, plant your hands beside your feet. And this time, I'm just going to jump back. So bend the knees and take a big jump back into plank. You can step back if you need to. Then take an inhale here in plank. Fingers are spread wide, pressing down into the knuckles. And then to come into Chaturanga, we're just lowering the body down with the elbows tucked into the sides, coming just 2 inches off of the mat, not all the way to the floor. And then once again, sliding forward, coming onto the tops of our feet. And then you can once again choose your Cobra with your knees down, or upward facing dog with your knees up. And then as you exhale, roll over the toes, send the hips back, maybe take a little step forward into downward facing dog. Always protecting the wrists by spreading out the weight throughout your hands. Draw your chest to your feet. Rotate your hips towards the sky and press your heels down to the mat. You're going to feel that stretch all along the backs of your legs. And then look forward, bend your knees, step or jump all the way up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight spine, hands on your shins. Exhale, bend forward, hands to the mat, forehead to your knees. Inhale with a flat back, coming all the way up, arms to the sky, palms together, looking up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. And then as we close our eyes, noticing how the body feels, we can relax everything. And as we come into the third sun salutation, once again, come into our mountain pose, engaging everything together. So we'll just do one last one, nice and quick. So let's do that together. Inhale, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, bend forward, hands to the mat, forehead to your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine, hands on your shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back into plank, body in one straight line. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down, or Chaturanga. Inhale, sliding forward into Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send your hips back into downward facing dog. Taking 5 breaths here. Breathing deeply, spreading your fingers wide, pressing your heels down to the mat. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. And then look forward, bend your knees and step or jump all the way up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight spine, hands in your shins. Exhale, bend forward, hands to the mat, forehead to your knees. Inhale, with a flat back, raise your body all the way up, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes and take a deep breath here. And thank you so much for joining me in Sun Salutations today. I hope that made things a little bit more clear. And I hope to see you again in class very soon. Take care.